Okay, so I'm going to start off by saying that when it comes to series and when it comes to films, there's a few types of people in the world. One like to know absolutely everything and research as much as they possibly can before the show even comes out and get every nitty gritty little leak and detail that they can possibly get before the show is released. And other people like to avoid spoilers completely. And then there's a third kind of person like me who absolutely religiously avoids absolutely everything about shows. So I go into, especially this one, being that it was one of my favorite shows and I was really anticipating the season, I want to know nothing. Nothing. I want to know Dexter's in it, I want to know Deb's in it, and that's it. Okay? And he's somewhere up north. I didn't even think knew this took place in New York, actually, as I mentioned in a previous review. I thought it was still in Oregon. However, last week I was saying that I would be surprised if Kurt Caldwell was the killer, was the main villain, and what I do is I make my reviews and then I go watch other people's reviews because I don't like to watch other people's reviews first because I find it could taint mine. So I just make my own and then watch others. And when I was watching other reviews, I heard that it is confirmed that Kurt Caldwell is going to be the main villain of this series. I didn't know that. So last week's review, I was like, oh, I'd be so shocked if he is. Hey, who knows? Maybe there'll still be a twist where he isn't, but I heard that it's pretty much confirmed that he is. So the guy who is holding that girl hostage and in this episode ends up sniping her ass with that white ski mask, which actually was a pretty horrific scene. I'm assuming is Kurt Caldwell. See, I would be. It seems the way the show's going that Mr. Olson or Edward Olson, the billionaire, would be more of a candidate to be that guy who's watching the cameras, watching this girl like a creep. But still, we'll see what happens. But I just I wonder, maybe with the ending of this episode, it could also make sense that Kurt Caldwell is gonna definitely be the villain, but we will see. Anyways, getting ahead of myself, really hard. We start with Dexter being asked to come in to analyze some heat sensor cameras that they have to monitor wildlife and stuff like that. And as soon as this happened, we well, I started to get really worried that like Dexter's not going to escape this one. I already mentioned that he was clumsy as hell with his kill to begin with, but how much he has to, you know, work with like sense and try to hide, like especially since they're bringing in dogs for the search team. And I just don't really see how Dexter is going to get out of this one. He really fucked himself a lot. The relationship between him and Harrison is getting a little bit deeper and more interesting, and I like that. There's this one scene actually involving Harrison's story and story arc where there's this kid in school named Ethan, and Ethan is being bullied by these jock kids that are friends with Audrey, that the girl that is Harrison's love interest, basically. And these kids are bullying this kid named Ethan by catfishing him, sending him messages that are said to be from this girl. That this kid Ethan, like he's an artist. He draws like comics and anime and stuff like that. He's a nerd. He's bullied. He's kind of an outcast in the school pretty much. But Harrison finds out that these kids are bullying him by catfishing him and even sending him like a naked picture of some hot girl with tits or something, and pretending to be a girl that really loves his art and really likes him and really wants to meet him and yada yada yada, which is fucked. And even Harrison finds that it's messed up. And he actually does go tell Ethan the truth, which is kind of funny because the way he does is a little weird. He just nonchalant and with no emotion, kind of Dexter style, goes up to him and he's like, so, whatever the bully's name, I don't even know his name. So, buddy over there is catfishing you. And Ethan's like, who the fuck are you? And he's like, Harrison. And he's just so, not emotionless, but very blunt. And he doesn't even go in there saying, like, listen, man, I know this is going to be hard for you to hear, but no, he doesn't do that. He just goes in and just says it. But they end up being friends because Ethan appreciates this. Even Harrison comes up with a plan where he gets back to the bully, and he sends him this like meme of him fucking a goat with the bully's face on some other guy. I found that funny. But they become friends. There's a little bit of a weird thing going on too during a FaceTime with them at the end of closer to the end of the episode, where they introduce something that might end up being like a school shooter plot, because Ethan in his comics he draws a lot of violent ones, but one in particular where he's standing there with two guns looking like the Punisher, and Harrison says, "What are you, the Punisher or something?" And Ethan's like, "Yeah, if I was, they'd be fucking petrified." So I'm wondering if this is gonna go in that direction, because if they do, that would be really disturbing for the show. Yeah, but yeah, that girl that was being held hostage, which I thought was for sex trafficking. I already mentioned the main villain, whoever he is, Kurt, I guess. Snipes her like deer style. I guess he likes to so far kidnap young girls and set them free, only to practice like target practice basically. It's really fucked up. Like they're like, I don't know, I forget what you call baby deer, but like the way she's like running and he's just with the laser in the snow and he's all like white camo. Really disturbing stuff. I really like the new forensics guy. They bring in this forensics guy named Damien, and when he comes in, first of all, he's really good at his job, and he's literally doing Dexter's old job. And the smirk that Dexter gives him, he's so intrigued. Dexter starts acting almost like a fanboy because he doesn't want to really say that he used to be a blood splatter analysis. It goes against his whole Jim whatever caricature that he plays and pretends to be his fake identity. But he's all fanboy. He's like, oh, I really love CSI episodes and I really love to like study what you do. And this guy is saying basically beat for beat what Dexter used to say. And Dexter's really getting terrified with this, and he actually ends up matching the blood that he's analyzing, that where this deer was shot by Matt and where Dexter killed Matt. And it's a match because they take Kurt Caldwell's DNA as well and match it with Matt's. So they end up finding Matt's, or they end up seeing that it's actually Matt's blood in the snow. So Dexter, like I said, is in this whole heap of shit with the thermal cameras, and now that they actually legitimately got a match. There's two things at the end of the episode too that I'll mention. One is where Dexter comes up with, because he wants to hide Matt in the mine. That's his first plan, which I think is a stupid idea because obviously the cops are going to search the mine. That's one of the main places they're going to, as soon as they think mine, they're going to go there with an entire team. Obviously, they're going to find Matt's body there, so that was dumb. But he decides to cremate Matt's body, and then it ends with like, he's like, finally, Matt's out of my life, now to go abstinence again. But isn't there like bones and ash still? Like, forensics can discover that. Cremating a body doesn't completely get rid of it, from my understanding. Do the bones get incinerated as well? Like, there's got to be something they can still find in that, especially if it was cremated in an actual cremation place. I don't know if they use that to cremate animals or something, but it didn't look too safe for Dexter. So I don't know how he feels so scot-free. But and then the ending makes me really excited for next week's episode where Kurt is wasted at the bar, and Dexter's driving down the road and has a talk with him, and then Kurt mentions that he figured out that Matt is alive and actually FaceTimed with him, which doesn't make any logical sense. So either there's an imposter or he's just bullshitting through his teeth. He was wasted, but Dexter is kind of investigating this because he's taking it upon himself to go, like he even says the last line of the episode is like, why would he lie? And why would he lie? So big conspiracies there, big things happening. And lots of anticipation for the next show for sure on that one. But like I said, I literally know nothing about anything involving the plot of the show. I avoid that like the plague. And I do that for everything. So if I mention anything that some people are watching me talk and it's like, you don't know that? Yeah, it's because I literally avoid everything and I really want to be surprised because that's the only way that makes sense for me to watch something. Like, I hate spoilers. I hate knowing shit. Off topic, but one of the worst spoilers I ever got was somebody, I'm not going to spoil it, somebody who dies in Avengers Endgame that I didn't know was going to die. So that was spoiled for me, and I was pissed. But yeah, that's another story. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with lots more. I'm reviewing this whole season, this whole series and season, obviously. And there's lots more on the channel, so go check it out and stay tuned. Until next time, have a good one and cheers.